This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I am your host, Gianna, and today we have the opportunity of talking to Adrian Goss. Welcome to the show. Thanks for your time.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. Excited that it's Friday. Feel like it's going to be an awesome conversation. So, Adrian, give me the spiel. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you grow up to be a real estate agent?
For sure. So my name's Adrian Goss. I live in Patterson, California, which is a really small town about an hour outside of the San Francisco Bay Area. Modesto is kind of like the big town next to us. So that's kind of where I reference for people who don't know where we're at. I've been selling real estate for 9 years. I've been operating a small team for about a year and a half, 2 years now. We have about a team of about 4 or 5 agents now and a few admin staff. And I became a real estate agent, really kind of the family business. My dad was a lender for 30 years and he just recently retired. And then my mom is actually still a real estate broker. She's technically my competition now, but I actually started working with her kind of as her buyer's agent when I got into the business. And she still runs a small brokerage here in my town. And we just, that's kind of my spiel. I got into the family business and real estate's been a blessing to our family for sure.
So we haven't gotten mom on the EXP train yet?
We've planted a seed on mom, and actually mom and I looked at EXP pretty strongly back in 2018 and, probably shoulda, woulda, coulda then. Right. But, she started her own brokerage. We left Keller Williams. She started her own brokerage, and that's kind of the route I followed with her. But we actually looked at it back before it was really kind of a big deal, when it was a lot smaller.
Absolutely. Well, you planted that seed and you're already here. So, that whole, I wish I would have done it sooner. At least you're not feeling that way. And
sure.
Adrian, who presented EXP to you? How did that thought process go for you? How was breaking up with your current brokerage? How did that whole transition happen for you?
Yeah. So, obviously I had seen the buzz about EXP with the stock. Certainly I'd heard a lot of growth. I'd been kind of introduced to it back in 2018. And I kind of had my eyeball on it ever since. Everyone always kind of pitched me the stock and revenue sharing, but no one really ever pitched the collaboration with your upline to me. So that was the piece of the pie that I was kind of missing. And actually one of my buddies locally here, who actually has a really similar story to mine, his parents were brokers. He left his family brokerage to go to EXP. And it was like, whoa, dude, like you left your family brokerage to go to EXP. So I immediately called him and I was like, hey, I'm kind of, thinking about making a move. I've been looking at EXP for years. How do you like it? And then he's like, he pitched me on our upline, which is really with Daniel Beer and Kyle Whistle. We're with the Fast Forward movement. So we just have a really productive upline, some really fantastic team leaders like Kenny Fast, John Glutch, just a bunch of badasses that I wanted to surround myself with. So that was the piece of the pie that I hadn't heard. That was exciting to me, was having someone that is doing it at a much higher level than me, really opening up their playbook to allow me to grow my business and allowing that to be the story around EXP is to have our businesses really be the magnet of why people are talking to us about EXP instead of, that kind of used car salesman pitch that I think some EXP agents give us a bad rap for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Adrian, you talked about the collaboration that comes with EXP, and there are a lot of benefits like the collaboration, the stock options, rev share, the team, the multiple streams of income. So tell me, now that you're over with EXP, you're really experiencing it. What's your favorite part about the brokerage? What keeps you here? Or maybe what's something that you didn't expect about the brokerage that now you really love about the place?
I just really like the fact that it sets me up for a long-term retirement. I think if I can plant some seeds, grow some income with revenue sharing, grow with that agent equity program by contributing money to stock instead of, say, a franchise fee, which I have paid at other brokerages. I haven't even been at EXP for a year yet, and I can see the stock already growing. And granted, that's with the stock going down over the last year. So I'm excited to see what happens after 3 or 4 years of piling away stock and it eventually growing again, in the next stock market cycle. So I'm excited about that. I'm also super excited about opening people's eyes to EXP because I really think that this model can benefit people that are productive. I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think it's a great brokerage for someone who wants to do 1 or 2 transactions a year, but someone who wants to do 20, 30, 40 plus units or start a team or wants to grow and wants to be around top-notch agents, then EXP really should be the place that they should be considering at least talking with.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And, if you're a high producer, definitely get in touch with some Icon agents, see all the benefits it has to offer you here. And before we go into all things Icon, Adrian, tell me a little bit about work-life balance. Okay. I know realtors kind of chuckle at that. It's a tough thing to really master. So what is your attempt at it? How does it keep you recharged and, able to focus on both family and work and drawing boundaries? Just give me the spiel.
Yeah. So, I don't think you really can truly accomplish work-life balance until your business is like really consistently producing business consistently enough to keep you afloat financially without you having to necessarily do those activities that would probably take away from your family time. Right. So weekends, evenings, Sundays, 7 o'clock listing appointment, 7 o'clock showing appointment. You kind of have to go on those appointments if you're onesie twosieing it, and when you're kind of riding that kind of inconsistent roller coaster of not a consistent closing business, I think it's hard to have work-life balance because you're kind of in desperation mode all the time. Right. And you have to meet with as many potential clients as possible. Or you need to sacrifice the potential income. But I always recommend when someone is at a point where they're either working too much or they're trying to get some balance back, is schedule your day off first, and then schedule your time when you're done working, your family time, like when, hey, I'm going to be done at the office and I'm at home present with my family. Put that time on the calendar first, and then put your work stuff around it. Because at like 6:30, I'm kind of trying to sign off from work, unless it's a critical appointment or I'm negotiating going into contract or something like that. I'm trying to kind of sign off around 6:37-ish. And that's when I want to hang out with my wife and my 3 kids and have dinner. And
I think that's a fair boundary to have.
For sure. So
absolutely.
I think it's just like anything else. It's just a discipline that you have to practice. And at first it might be hard. To be honest, though, I think most agents struggle more with not working enough. They have too much balance.
No, I get that. And, it's really a self-starting industry, right? If you're not a self-starter and you're not driven, it's not going to be a good industry for you to be in. And that's okay. 98% of real estate agents fail, leave the business. So it's not for the weak, if you will. So Adrian, with being this high of a scale, you obviously have to leverage some things out, whether that's, tasks or personal life stuff. So we talked a little bit about how you have a virtual assistant. So, what are some of those first tasks that you gave up and kind of relinquished control of, and how did that help you scale your business up?
Yeah, so I think you can kind of go one of two ways with that. It just depends on what you hire your virtual assistant for, because I think there can be obviously certain roles that they fill. And if you're hiring an assistant to be a video editor and a client care specialist and a recruiter, and he or she's wearing 15 different hats, it's probably not going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
So my VA does a few things. Her main role is client appreciation type stuff. So she'll do client events. She manages our database. She manages our social media posters, stuff like that. So I kind of leveraged it as I kind of gave up the things that I don't like to do anymore. Because I've just done so many social media posts over the years. It's just not exciting to me anymore.
Yeah.
I gave her some templates of kind of how I like it to look and just have her mirror it.
Awesome.
I also have her doing kind of like some like data entry type stuff that that make my eyes bleed. I'm like a high eye. I'd rather be on this interview 100 times over.
Yeah.
Than inputting stars links from Ylopo and restarting seller alerts and stuff. So I have her doing that, making sure our system's operating as designed, making sure that people are getting their notifications and emails, and that she's focusing on us converting more sales and getting more referrals,
which is awesome. And then Adrian, you can focus on stuff you love to do, and then if you're loving to do it, and it feels natural to you, that's how money's going to come if you're in it for all the right reasons. And I think that's awesome. And Adrian, let's talk all things Icon Agent, because you're on the Icon podcast, because you're an Icon Agent, top 2% here at EXP. So Adrian, what does production look like in your area of California? How many houses do you need to sell to be able to cap? And what does that average housing price look like for you?
Yeah, so like I said, we're kind of about an hour to an hour and a half right outside of the Bay Area, which the Bay Area, if you don't know, is one of the most expensive real estate markets in the country. Just, insane, super ultra luxury stuff, but then like 1-bedroom studio condos for over $1 million in certain markets too. So ultra expensive. And then they travel an hour and a half away from there, and it goes up 30 degrees and you're in Modesto. So
wow.
We are very much a commuter base. So there's a lot of work in the Bay Area. There's a lot of trades. There's a lot of money to be generated. So we have a bunch of people that go commute to the Bay Area and travel back here.
Awesome.
Obviously, we have our locals too that don't necessarily commute, but largely, I would say a large pool of our market is commuters. So we're kind of in that 400 to 500K range. And so I would say if you were a solo agent, you would probably hit your cap around, somewhere in that 8 to 10 houses range. And then you got to do 20 more after that. So
yeah, the 20 transactions. Awesome. Okay. That's super cool. I like to ask that question just to kind of give the listeners a gauge of
25 to 30 transactions, you're an Icon agent in our market. And when you're an Icon status or in that production range, you should be having the conversation with EXP about how it can benefit you long term.
Absolutely. That's awesome, Adrian. And so, we'll get into the benefits of long term, because there's a lot of benefits that come with being an Icon agent. But first, you also have a cultural commitment, right? So to get that other half of the cap back in your stock, you have to be a mentor, coach, teacher on EXP panels, vetting other icons. There's a lot of options to do. So what cultural commitment do you typically, dedicate yourself to, and why do you choose that cultural commitment?
So I just hit Icon like last month, so I haven't gotten an opportunity to fulfill any of those. But from my understanding, I think I can teach some courses on an EXP approved training. Yep. So I'd love to do something like that. I love coaching others, especially on something that I feel like is a strength of mine. Obviously, I don't want to coach someone on something I'm not familiar with, but
fair.
If it were something to help someone grow their business, I feel like that's super rewarding. I think if you're in real estate, we give back to other people.
Yes,
You know,
I
I think
agree.
if you're secretive, I think that's kind of old news. I think you should be an open book, especially if you're embracing the EXP model, which is really that collaboration and allowing someone to open yourself up to help them grow their business, and then that will eventually reward you at some point in return.
Absolutely. I love that, Adrian. And that's why, you're successful. You don't have that commission breath. Your heart's in it for all the right reasons, and it shows. And Adrian, Icon Award comes with awesome benefits. You get a big glass shiny trophy. I don't know if you've gotten yours yet because you just Icon last month, right? So soon.
I think the production went in June. I think I was recognized in July.
Okay, so I'm sure that trophy is on its way. Probably just getting engraved for you. But I've talked to a lot of icons who haven't received it yet. Then they do this podcast with me, and then it shows up. So hopefully this is the good luck charm to get it there. But yes. So you'll be getting a glass shiny trophy, which is really cool. But there's monetary value behind it, right? So you get that cap back in stock, which that cap is $16,000. So to get that cap back, you've got to hit that production. You've got to do your cultural commitment, and then you have the opportunity to earn some back by going to EXPCon and shareholders. So what's your favorite part about being an Icon agent? Why are you going to set that as a standard for yourself moving forward?
Well, for one, I think it's obvious everyone likes to get stock awards.
Heck yeah.
I want to make as much. We came to EXP to make more money, right? So I will fully say I'll take the stock awards first. But I also love being recognized as a person that's good in this industry. I love having opportunities to speak on a panel or to coach someone on something that maybe they're struggling with. That gives me an opportunity to help others, but it also gives me a platform to recruit myself as an Icon agent to other people that I might not have an opportunity to have spoken with unless I had a platform to speak on.
Right. That's awesome. And I love that. And
well, I appreciate you having me on.
Well, we're not done yet, Adrian. Don't get too excited.
No, I'm just appreciating you giving me a platform to speak on, though.
Of course. And Adrian, I love that you're in it for all the right reasons, and that it's coming back to you. It's handsomely rewarded at EXP, which is super exciting. And it can be like a retirement fund, or I have an Icon agent that already paid for both of his daughter's weddings and they're 7 and 9. Okay, we're thinking ahead here, which is awesome. And Adrian, my next question is going to be, for somebody that is new to EXP or they're new to the real estate world, they see this Icon Award. Is it possible for them to Icon in their first year? What does that look like for them? What are some daily goals to set out for that, or some major mistakes to avoid?
I think it's totally accomplishable. I think it is more challenging in certain parts of the country where you have to do more units. Where homes are just a little bit less expensive, you're going to have to close more production to cap. So just doing simple math, more units is harder for a newer agent, right?
Right.
But is 30 units in my market achievable for a first-year agent? Absolutely. Are most agents capable of doing 30 units in their first year? Probably not. But there are some people that are very skilled salespeople naturally. There are people that are just super hardworking and committed to their craft and getting better and learning and consuming everything and breathing real estate. I think those people that are committed to that and trust the process and do the hard work and put themselves out there and really kind of get comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think it's super doable to be an Icon agent in your first year. And I think that's something that you should absolutely be working for. If you're at EXP and you're not getting Icon, that should be really your next goal in your business.
Absolutely. Because any other brokerage, if there's a cap too, you don't have the opportunity to earn that back. There's just no way. And EXP is one of the only brokerages that offers that, if not the only one. And so there's a lot of benefits to that. And Adrian, there's a lot of benefits to being with EXP, which takes me to my next question. Were you ever skeptical of it when it was first introduced to you? Kind of too good to be true, pyramid scheme kind of way?
I think when I first was introduced to it, when back in 2018, I think it sounded a little too good to be true at the time. And I was also just really young and impressionable and was kind of relying on other people's opinions more so than probably my own at that
Right.
time. But at the same time, I mean, that you could say the same thing about any investment, right? Like I wish I would have bought Amazon stock 10 years ago,
Right.
or I wish I would have bought 20 rental properties when the market crashed.
Right.
That's a part of life is maybe having some skepticism and taking a risk. And I do kind of wish I would have maybe made the move sooner, because I think I would have seen some rewards from it. But
Absolutely.
I'm here now, and glad to be getting some stock awards. And actually, our stock, when it was awarded to me, was actually, I think, around the 52-week low. So
wow.
I think we'll be in for some nice gains.
Absolutely. And you can also put 5% of every commission check on that to get some discounted stock. It's pretty cool. It's a cool program. And Adrian, for anybody that's watching right now, or if you could go back in time to yourself that didn't make that official jump sooner, what would you have to say to convince yourself or to encourage yourself that this is the right decision to move over?
I think agents have this thought that moving brokerages is a super difficult, tedious task. And I don't think it's, I move brokerages quite a bit. I've been at 5 different brokerages in almost 10 years. So I don't think it's that hard. I think people romanticize making a move. And I think it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
Is they don't want to admit that it will benefit their lives, and that the move outweighs the benefits. And so I would just say someone to be open-minded for something to benefit them monetarily. And it's okay to get financially rewarded for bringing people into your organization, especially successful people. I think that's awesome. And then
that just rises the stock of the company. Everybody wins there.
Yeah, well, and it also just puts the right people in this organization too, because if we're bringing in productive, like-minded people that want to grow, we're going to just be around a bunch of awesome individuals that are going to be giving to each other and opening up their time to each other and helping each other when they can. And that's the type of environment that I want to be on. I don't want to be at a brokerage where the top producer won't even give me the time of day and won't answer my phone call if I have a question.
It's not a culture, it's a community, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And that's another thing that I've really enjoyed about it is I know I have a ton of allies that I can rely on if I have a question or a tough decision to make.
Absolutely.
And people that have had to make that decision before me.
And, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns about EXP, reach out to Adrian. That's the cool thing about this brokerage. Whether you're with us or not, we're happy to answer questions, eager to tell you about all the good things that come with EXP. And, the only way to bust rumors and myths is to go straight to the source and figure it out for yourself. So feel free to reach out to Adrian. And Adrian, are you going to be at EXPCon in Vegas?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it this year on my first one. I have prior obligations, unfortunately, but I will be there next year for sure.
Okay, well, sounds good. So we'll miss you this year. But is there anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with as we wrap it up today?
I would say just at this point in the year, put your foot down on the pedal a little bit harder, because this time of the year is where a lot of agents are starting to take their foot off the pedal. So people who are struggling right now and feeling the shift and are maybe a little bit concerned, I would say put a little bit more effort into your business and focus a little bit more on your database too.
Yep. I love
rely
that.
on those past clients, rely on those sphere of influence, rely on those people that have taken care of you over the last couple of years, and spend some time with them.
Absolutely. Preach, Adrian. Well, Adrian, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciated it. I think this was a great episode, and hopefully I'll be catching you at one of these conferences sometime soon.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Gianna.
Thanks, Adrian. Have a good weekend. Bye.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.